Today, I'm going to show you how I made this pomegranate 3D sculpture, and then later in the stream, we're going to paint one. So let's get into it. All right, so for this project, I am just using some mezzanite board. I picked these up at the dollar store, so pretty cheap. You can get a pack of 6 for I think like $1.50, $2. And then I'm also going to be using a foam clay. You can also get the stuff pretty cheap, sometimes at the dollar store. But you can also get Crayola Model Magic. It's a little bit more expensive, but has a different texture. Honestly, I've been using the cheaper stuff. It might be better. I'm gonna do a future investigation on different foam clays because I use it a lot in my different arts. So, train of thought, left the station. What we're gonna need to do first is we're gonna need to prep our board by making it a little less smooth. So I have a little sanding block here, and I'm just gonna roughen up the mezzanite board. Sorry if this is noisy. I'm gonna do it over a garbage can though, so hopefully I catch most of the dust. So it doesn't need to be perfect. We need a little more texture for our foam clay to grab onto. Right. So after you roughen it up, I'm going to grab myself a pencil and I'm just going to draw out the shape of a pomegranate. And I want to fill up maybe the majority of my surface area. So maybe I'll change my camera angle so you can actually see what I'm doing. There we go. So we have our board sanded up, and I'm going to draw well, let's start. I was going to do like the little crown at the beginning there, but you know what? Let's start with a circle shape for our overall pomegranate. And then at the top, this is going to be my top here. I'm going to do a little crown for the pomegranate stem, where it kind of connects back to the tree. Pomegranates grow on trees, right? I should have done some research before now. Now I want to know, but I'm not going to go Google. Let me know in the comments. All right. Also, right before stream, I realized I should have bought a pomegranate and had it to reference, but I've eaten my number of pomegranates and kind of have a method of going about this. So we have our pomegranate shape. It doesn't need to be a perfect circle. They rarely are, right? They kind of have some weird flat sides sometimes. And what we're going to try and create is as if the pomegranate had been cut on its side, or maybe even just torn open, and we're exposing some of the cell areas where all of the little pomegranate seeds grow. So what I'm going to do here, let's do some guiding lines. I'm going to do a little divider line, goes down the middle, maybe right near the bottom it curves one way. Mine's going to curve left here, but you know what? I quite often curve left, so let's do one that curves right. I think I'd have a eraser on hand, but I don't. Use the backside of my pencil, I guess. We'll go right here, this way. And then maybe this large cell here will divide up like this in half. So now we have some varying sizes, and the lines that we just drew, those are going to be the beginning markings of the pith, the white stuff inside of the pomegranate. Wrap those around. So each one of these little curved spaces are going to be where my pomegranate seeds build up. So once we have that, I think we can start modeling. I'm going to take my model clay, let's open it up. And for Model Magic at least, you need to work it. Get it activated at least a little bit, otherwise it tends to dry a little funny or doesn't mold quite right. So yeah, at first it's very thick, kind of doesn't have much pull to it, but if you start working it a bit, start warming it up, massaging it a bunch, it will begin to become pullable like taffy. I want that consistency for our next part. Music sounds intense. Figured out my camera, which is great. Just needed a firmware update. So now I can put my face in the shot and we'll do a little box around there, and fingers crossed it won't fall asleep on us. So first step, we're going to want to build up some foundation for our pomegranate. And you're going to notice first off that your foam clay will begin picking up some of the color of your pencil, some of the graphite, and that's okay. If your pomegranate starts going gray like this, then it's not going to be an issue. We're going to prime these using some modeling paste and then paint them later. So I'll hide all of those colors and grays that the pencil brings in. I think I'll do this in the segments. Kind of leave a line between. Just be the start of the pith, but we're going to build it up a little bit. So this is just the foundation. It's going to help keep our pomegranate seeds stuck onto the board later. So it can go on pretty thin. So I'm going to be super thick here. Zoomies in the other room. She doesn't respect recording time, evidently. Olive, Sean respects recording time. He tries to stay quiet. What are you doing? What are you doing? Hmm? You come say hello to everybody? There's nobody in the live stream. There's no one in live chat at the moment. Oh. Yes, what are we doing? Yes, what are we doing? No, you can't walk on the art. Can't walk on the art. Yeah. Oh, you don't peek up on that one. There we go. Alright. Go get Vandy. Taking Olive with you? Oh, you're going? Yeah, never mind. Are you going to go to the pet store afterwards?
Oh, shoot. Just Benny food or Olive food?
Both, yeah.
Okay.
Also go to Shoppers?
Just text me.
Okay. Okay. Bye.
Give me your keys.
Yep. Okay, so we have our foundation down. Like I said, all that smudging, that's not going to be an issue for us. In fact, most of it's going to get covered up by our sculpting here. It's kind of like a pumpkin at the moment. It's a fun take. I might do a pumpkin series for fall. Who knows? Pomegranates just look really nice and kind of regal. I don't know if that's the right word. Mythical. Okay, foundation down. What I want to do next is I want to add some of the shell casing that kind of encloses the whole pomegranate and all the different sections. So I'm gonna start rolling this out. I'm just gonna build up an outer wall. Should have gotten 2 or 3 packs done ready at the same time, but that's okay. I'm gonna set that half aside for the pith in a moment. I'm just gonna use this half to finish up. We don't even need that much. Maybe about a third. Finish the other side of the casing here. Okay, so now I want to smooth all of this down and try and conceal the spots where the clays were connecting. Also want to give it, I don't know, some more definition. Doesn't need to be perfect. I'm smoothing mine out around the edges. Just have a nice clear definition between my pomegranate and the background. Doesn't need to be perfect. We're going to conceal a lot of the little oddities as we go. Make those little points more point-like. There we go. Now, I'm going to build up that pith. To do that, I'm going to use kind of a pinching method. Use that space between my 2 fingers, create this mountain ridge. And take a bunch. I'm just going to start laying it down. Create a mountain ridge between the 2 sections. See, I'm pulling up a fair bit of my foundation, but that's okay. I can just stick it down, or even I can even pull it up if I need to. It's getting too thick. You can always reuse that as seeds a bit. Anyway, build that up just a bit more. Maybe I'll even continue that around. So maybe that pith goes down in. Maybe there is another little membrane that is coming up and maybe out from over here, behind, connecting up on the side. And like we did here, maybe we'll wrap the pith around some of the shell, like that. We'll let that hard edge exist just as it is. Alright, so now we have some of the pith membrane built up here. Maybe we'll even thicken it up here. go. Okay. Next up, I'm going to take some more foam clay. I'm just going to take a little bit at a time and roll it between my fingers. So I get a good little round shape, but maybe it's a little long, or maybe it has some flat ends. It's okay, because pomegranate seeds they're not quite perfectly round. Some of them are squared up because they're all squished together very tight. Some of them are a little oblong. I'm just going to start building up all the spaces using my clay. Just tucking them in together as I go. So we should begin, once I fill it all up, we begin looking very full, luscious, vibrant. Maybe not quite vibrant yet, but we're gonna get there. another thing that I like to do. Okay. We can also kind of give the illusion to. So these are just modeling tools, but you could find just another object that has a ball. You could probably use like a marble or something, and give the indentations of some seeds that have been pulled. And then you can work around some of those patterns. Just give some of the appearance as though some of the segments of seeds have been already harvested. So after you've done this a whole bunch, just finish up last bit of clay. Set this aside, and after it's dried for a couple of days, you'll have something that looks more like this. Now, I have started to prime this for painting using some modeling paste. You can pick this up at most art supply stores. And I'm going to grab a larger brush. One that I specifically like to use because it has a pointed end and allows me to get the modeling paste in all the little grooves. We're going to cover this side and make it look more like this side. So this is, we're going to turn this side and into this side. You can kind of see that there's a difference. There's a lot more crevices and openings, but after we've applied some modeling paste, all of those get filled in, and it's going to be a lot easier to paint. Modeling paste also takes paint a lot better than just the foam clay. So, digging right into my modeling paste, and I'm just going to start pasting it all over each seed, getting it sufficiently covered. I'll try to get this segment here done. And I'm going quite liberally with the modeling paste, really plastering it on there, but I also don't want to leave too many streaks. So I'm going back and dabbing all the large parts of paste. Starting to zone in here, sorry. So a great part about this craft is it's very zen. As you're modeling clay, so your foam clay, as it's drying, it may crack. And this is a good opportunity to fill in some of those cracks with modeling paste. The foam clay tends to shrink down a little bit as it dries. also do the background a little bit. Let's do sort of the same texture as the rest of the sculpture. And we're gonna go all the way around that. And once you've done that, maybe done 2 coats if you need it. I'll have something that looks like this. So this one has had ample time to dry out. All of the modeling paste is ready now for painting. So painting, we're going to need some reds, maybe some yellows for adding some earthy tones into the skin. I like to have a variety of colors for accenting as well. We can use those for the backgrounds, but also do some fun highlights. I don't have a purple mixed yet, but I do have some colors set out aside here that we can use to mix some purple, which we're going to use for shadows to get into the deepest, darkest spots of our pomegranate. So we're going to need a purple sooner than later. I think we're going to start by mixing it up now. And of course, purple is a mixture of blue and red. Be much more blue than red, so let's see. We'll start with a little bit of red. Mix it up. And just like the modeling paste, I want to use a brush that can really get into the small spaces. But I also don't want to be here all day. I'm going to use a very tiny brush. To mix this, though, we should use something flatter. That's a purple. Goodness. I like it. Oops. Okay, I think I'm going to use all of the paint that's on the brush here as best I can. Where do we want to start? I think if we were to think about some of the lighting that is shining into a pomegranate that's been kind of torn open here, I think the parts that's going to have the most shadows are up in here. I'm going to put this up in there. So much on the pith. That's all right. I'm gonna do the bulk of. I'm gonna start with our shell, I think, actually. We'll use an orange red. So an orangey red. And I'm just going to paint out the shell of the pomegranate. Around one of the sides here. I'm gonna grab some yellow. Just gonna bring some yellow into here. So I think I want to get brown in there. I just add a tinge of ruby or black. Let's get some dark reds in here. Okay, so we have the shell painted out now. I want to do the pith. I'm gonna get rid of the red that's on my paintbrush instead of just wiping it away. We're gonna need those colors anyways, so I'm just gonna get the majority of it off. Seeds here. Lost all my paper towels somehow. Okay, so the pith is just going to be a mixture of white and yellow. Maybe just a little touch of orange. Basically, just going to stick with the white and yellow. Try and clean up some of that purple here. I think I want less purple in the pith. I'm starting with a very dry, loose brushing of yellow. The spots that once had seeds, I'll paint those all with the pith. There's lots of yellow in there. These are just our first initial layers. Once we get into more of the seeds, I'm gonna slow down, clean it all up. Now, I'm just going to get these things covered. Okay, so once those are all gathered up, show my brush again. It's a bad brush. It's falling apart on me. Okay, I'm going to start covering up those seeds with just red for now. I may have to repaint the pet. That's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Sorry, back there. Good news is, she's not falling asleep. Happy with that. So these are looking much better than that, right? But that still needs a lot of work, right? What we're gonna need to do is we need to brighten them up. Let's use some pink. So over the tops of all of them, I'm just going over with some pink. We're going to create some definition. Make it look as though each one is a little transparent. You're seeing some of the structure in behind the seed. Already, like that looks so much better, right? And then coming with some white, we start hitting the edges. A little bit of white. Yeah, it's starting to look a lot more like pomegranates to me. What's up, Benny? No? Okay. He's just hungry. Alright, let's get to work on these guys here. Just put that in. I think I may have made too much bookmark. I didn't use a lot. Maybe it needs some more over here. Let's see. Ooh, yeah, it did. I'm gonna go in with a finer brush to try and clean up some of the pith. White. There we go. So I'm pretty pleased with that. I think maybe there's like a highlight or something on our shell there. Use as a background now. So let's use up some of that purple that we need. I think around the base of pomegranate, maybe there's a bit of some shadow work. Get some other colors in here. Let's get some pink going. We have some pink up here. Mix in with some purple. I'm just going to do kind of an abstract colored background. Some yellow in here. More yellow over here. I want to be crazy. Let's like a limey, kind of like a lime yellow. Here, let's bring that into play. I don't know if I love that blue. Bring more blue into it. Bring more blue into the equation. It's kind of fun. So at this point, ultimately, it's your decision on how you want to finish up your backgrounds. Maybe you want to paint other pomegranates, like a mishmash of pomegranates in behind, or maybe some other ideas. Maybe it's hanging from the tree that you pluck it from. Again, is it a tree that pomegranates come from? Is it a bush? I should look it up. I should look it up sometime. Yeah. For me, just kind of giving an impressionistic background. A warm space. Color. A few too many layers built up there. I'm happy with that. There we go. So from a blank board, you go, you model your background, model your shell, model your pith and the seeds, and then you use modeling paste to cover the whole thing and conceal some of the little faults with foam clay. And then once that's fully dried, you can paint it. And that's it for me. Thank you guys for joining me today. Nice quick one. I'm going to try to set up these kind of live streams more where we have a project in multiple phases so we can get things shown more quickly and get a whole thing done in one live stream. So I had a lot of fun with this. If you're interested in buying one of these, keep your eyes peeled on the Etsy store. I'm going to post some more art up there. And I actually think I'm going to take down all of the what are they called? Prints. I'm taking down all of those prints that are currently on the Etsy shop. They'll probably be up for another month. I'll take them down at the end of September, but they haven't been really beneficial to me. So I'm going to be sticking to originals, and we're going to kind of transition the Etsy shop into all originals. Yeah, look forward to that, and I will see you guys next time. Other ways of supporting me, let's just put that up there. Patreon, check it out. I could always use the help, and the majority of the Patreon donations, while they take a cut, the majority goes to me, and it really helps me out with the work I'm doing here in the studio. Thank you, dude, for being a continued patron. I will see you guys in the next live stream.